Hi, welcome to the Happy Empath. I am Trisha Dyka of TrishaDyka.com. And today I want to talk about a comment that I saw in my Facebook group. Somebody had asked about, they were watching a podcast, a motivational podcast to be exact, and they said they had to stop it because they were feeling overwhelmed and just a lot of anxiety. And I want to share it with you. You could watch podcasts and actually feel all of those things. The thing I want you to pay attention to is whatever your body is telling you, and honor that. Okay? Stop questioning is it true. Stop questioning why. Just know that you're picking up these emotions. Now, you could be picking these emotions up from the actual speaker. Maybe they're having a bad day. Or if it is a live call, you could be picking up the emotions of everybody on that call. Years ago, before I understood what an empath was, I had signed up for a money boot camp. It was really learning about money and beliefs around money, and every single call that I listened to, some were live and some were recorded, I would hang up that phone and bawl my eyes out. And I could not for the life of me understand. I had picked up everybody's anger, resentment, fear, uncertainty, insecurity about money. All of their issues around money, I picked up. And I would hang up those calls and I would cry. I would cry. There were some days I was so depressed, and other days I was so anxious. At one point, I stopped listening to the calls. I completely just gave up. I was like, for some reason, I'm unable to listen to this, and I didn't. I just stopped. And of course, when I realized, what an empath was and how we pick up all these emotions, I realized what it was happening. So to get around this, what I would do was I would either buy a book about the subject, and you can still pick up the author's emotions around the subjects through their words and through reading. Just understand that. Also, what I would do was I would find out if it was a recorded call that was sent out to the group, where you're only getting the feedback or the emotions of the actual speaker. So I would try to get involved in things like that, like buy a program that has already been pre-recorded, that there's not other people live on the call, or recorded with people on the call. I found that actually worked for me as well. Or, here's a big one, guys. Before I would get on any of these calls, I would make sure I was in a really good place. I would make sure that I was grounded. I would make sure that I was having a good day. I would make sure that I would have energy, because I found that if I was tired, or if I didn't feel good, or if I just had low energy, because sometimes that happens. You have a good night's sleep, but you still have low energy that day, I wouldn't get on those calls. I just would not. I would listen to them at a later date, or I wouldn't. You have to really listen in to what your heart's telling you, to what kind of mood you're in, what kind of energy you're currently having that day. You could get this through podcasts. You could get this through YouTube videos. I remember, again, I was listening to a guru on talk about energy and the different types of energy we were feeling during a month. And I was 2 minutes into the recording and I hung it up. I couldn't watch it anymore. And I remember saying to a friend of mine, I don't understand, but I just can't watch him. I am picking up his level of insecurity, his levels of lack of self-confidence. And she's like, I watched it, thought it was great. I go, okay, I cannot. It's me. I know what I can and cannot do. I know what I'm picking up and what I'm not. I also know I will not debate with somebody else about what I'm picking up, because if you're not an empath, you can watch the same video that I'm watching, and we're going to walk away with different emotions. You're going to walk away with, what you need to pick up from the call, and I'm going to walk away with the emotions from the people on the call or from the actual speaker. So when you're listening to these calls, when you're listening to seminars, because you know there's a lot of seminars on different topics, remember you could get anybody who's on that call. You can get the speaker, you can get all the attendants. So depending on what kind of topic it is, like if it's a really hot topic, like how to handle your anxiety, how to handle your depression, how to be happier. Another one's money. That's a hot topic. So like certain topics push buttons on people. It triggers them. Yes, they're trying to find ways to handle it better in their own lives. But when we listen to those calls, if we're not in a good place, we're picking all of that up. See, if you could listen to these calls and pick up what you need to and implement, that's awesome. You could do that with different clearing techniques while you're on the call. You can make sure you're at a high vibe before you get on the call. And there's different ways to do all of these things. The heart-centered intention, which I teach you guys, that's a great way to constantly clear. The symbol's another great way of knowing what emotions are yours and what's not. Laughter, if you get off the call and you know you went from high energy here and now you got a lower energy by hanging up a call, laughter. Exercise, like get that movement going so that you can kind of get rid of that energy that you picked up. Water, go wash your hands, clear it off. Like let's say you listen to this call and you're at your job, right? And you hang up and you're like, oh my God, I'm so, ugh. You know, that feeling of just, go in the bathroom, wash your hands, and just like shake off that energy that you picked up. Water's a great clearing for you. So, you know, as well as wearing a grounding crystal. I love Tiger's Eye for that. There are several others, but one that I use constantly is Tiger's Eye. All right, post your comments, your questions below. You could share this video. And if you don't want to post it publicly, send me an email at Tricia@triciadaika.com.